From Northeast State Studios in Blountville, Tennessee, this is Views of the SEC. And welcome to Views of the SEC. Trey Adams alongside Adam Benefiel, where we are talking all SEC football. What a week of SEC football. A lot of shakeup in the conference. Alabama absolutely dominated on Saturday. Florida now has the advantage in the East. Let's go ahead and recap of what happened last week. Alabama rolls past the Volunteers 49-10, giving the Crimson Tide the largest margin of victory in the rivalry since 1906. Vanderbilt stuns Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs at home 17-16. They pick up their first road victory under Derek Mason. Well, SEC road victory. Arkansas gets major victory over Ole Miss 34-30. It pushes itself closer to contention for possible shakeup in the SEC West. And the LSU-Florida game has been rescheduled for November 19th. They worked out something last week. So let's start with the game on Saturday. Alabama, wow. I mean, I will say this, they beat a very injury-depleted Tennessee team, but they showed their dominance in this game. Adam, just give me some quick thoughts on this game Saturday.
Are there any hurricanes coming into the Gulf Coast this next week?
Not right now.
No? Okay. Well, we got to figure something out because that's terrifying. I said last week that I didn't think that Alabama was as infallible as they have been in years past, but I think that was their most complete game that they've had. And to your point, yeah, it wasn't a full-strength Tennessee team, but they couldn't get anything going. I mean, it was they almost looked like if Vanderbilt would have played against Alabama. Like it was that bad. I mean, I think even their one touchdown that they had that came off of a turnover, right?
Yeah, it came off of a Derek Barnett forced fumble.
Yeah.
There's not much that Tennessee could have done on Saturday. Alabama just played so well. How about Vanderbilt? I mean, stunning Georgia at home. 17-16, what a performance by the Commodores. I mean, that was very much needed for Derek Mason.
Oh, absolutely. They were significantly outplayed, like we were talking about earlier. Like they were significantly outplayed by Georgia, but if you don't, it kind of like the Tennessee A&M game a couple weeks ago. You can get all the yards you want, you can move the ball all you want. Jacob Eason threw for over 300 yards, but if you don't capitalize if you don't score touchdowns whenever you are moving the ball or have good flow on offense, then you can very well wind up losing to a team that you outplay.
Definitely. Taking a look at the SEC standings, Florida, after the victory against Missouri and after the Tennessee loss, they take control of their own destiny in the East. And Alabama and Texas A&M, they remain deadlocked for the first position, and that position will be decided on Saturday. How about the SEC Player of the Week, Zach Cunningham, a linebacker for Vanderbilt? With one of the most impressive defensive performances in the SEC this year, Cunningham collected a season-high 19 tackles, including the game-saving tackle on 4th and 1 late in the game to secure the victory for the Commodores. He has been awarded the Walter Camp National Defensive Player of the Week award for his outstanding play, so congratulations to Zach on a terrific performance. Definitely one of the best linebackers in the SEC. So moving on to the SEC Game of the Week, Texas A&M at Alabama. This game, we've been talking about this for the last couple of weeks, that we knew that this was going to be an impact game, a deciding factor of who may win the SEC West. CBS 3:30 kickoff, battle of two unbeaten teams, and for control of the SEC West. Adam, you look nervous, buddy.
I'm not excited about this game.
This is going to be a showdown. The question that I have, can Texas A&M slow down Alabama's run game? I mean, you look at the Crimson Tide, they average 265 yards on the ground, 8th best in the country. Texas A&M giving up 184 yards, 80th best run defense. One of these things has to give.
Yeah, I think A&M is, when you consider the injuries, I think A&M is much more capable of slowing down the run than Tennessee was. And in defense of A&M a little bit, I mean, obviously I'm an A&M fan, so I'm going to be doing my best to defend them at every turn. But their yards given up per game has been a little inflated with two performances for two games, the Arkansas game and the Tennessee game. I think their defense is a little better than their yards given up per game. I mean, their points per game given up is pretty good. They're only giving up 19 points a game.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're a little better equipped. The safeties are great tacklers. They have healthy linebackers. Myles Garrett should be full strength. He's shown this year that his run defense has improved greatly. He's not just a pass rusher. So I think having him at full strength really helps him out. I think it's going to be a struggle. I think a lot of the same keys that Tennessee needed to have a chance to beat Alabama are the same keys that Texas A&M needs to do. But I don't know. Like, they're going to give up yards. They're going to give up points. A&M has to score, and I think A&M will score. How much they'll score, I don't know, but I don't think that they're going to get beat 49-10.
So what you're saying is probably going to be like another style game like Ole Miss and Alabama had earlier in the season.
Yeah, I think either that or the Alabama-Arkansas game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think Alabama's gonna win. They started out as 17-point favorites, and I don't think that that's a stretch. But I think that A&M will keep it relatively competitive. And the last time Trevor Knight played against Alabama, he torched them. So hopefully we'll get some of that.
Good point. Very good point.
We'll get some of that Dark Knight magic.
What has to happen for Texas A&M to upset Alabama? I mean, the first thing would obviously be turnovers. You got to force Alabama to make a lot of mistakes, and that usually doesn't happen. But what would be your keys to stopping Alabama from beating you? This is a road game. You got to figure out a way to beat Alabama if you're going to stay undefeated.
Absolutely. The biggest key is there's a couple of them. Like you said, turnovers, which A&M is one of the best teams in the country at forcing turnovers. They need to force Alabama into third and long situations. They have to be able to somewhat stop the run. They're not going to be able to contain. They're not going to be able to stuff the run for the whole game, but they need to contain it at times. Like, give up a first down, give up another first down, but you need to set yourself at some point to where you can get a stop or two early in the down and distance that forces Alabama to be one-dimensional for that series. And if they can get Alabama into a third and long to where they know that they're going to pass, then I think that's the time where A&M will have to capitalize and get off the field. If you let Alabama live at 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3, then they can do anything in the playbook. And it's really, really, really hard to stop a team that has the talent and the ability of Alabama whenever they can run any play in the playbook.
I agree with you. I mean, Lane Kiffin, he's not a good head coach, but, man, he is a heck of an offensive coordinator. And when he's given one of the best offensive lines in the country and some of the best offensive talents in the country, it's really, really difficult to stop somebody that just knows what they're doing. This game plays major implications in the SEC West. After this game, of course, Texas A&M, the major games that they have left, in my personal opinion, are Ole Miss and LSU, both left at home. Alabama, of course, after this week has a bye week. They have a week to rest up, get ready, and then they have LSU on the road and, of course, Auburn to end the season, which Auburn could be a major player in the SEC West. Not many people realize this, but they only have one conference loss. So if there's some sort of shakeup that happens in the next couple of weeks, maybe Alabama drops 2 or A&M drops 2, Auburn is right there, and that game, the Iron Bowl, could be maybe a deciding factor in who wins the SEC West. So this is a big deal. This is a very big game happening Saturday, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens. We've talked about it. We've analyzed it. Adam, give me your prediction.
I have to have faith in my team. I have to believe in them even whenever I don't think that it's going to turn out in their favor. So give me A&M 33, Alabama 29.
Does that include overtime?
It does not. It includes a 4th and goal stop at the end of the game.
How happy would you be if that happened?
You may never see me again. Like, I may go on such like a weekend binge that like my body may surface like in some mountain out here.
Listen, folks, we record this show on Monday, so if I'm doing it by myself next week, we know where Adam is at.
Yeah. If A&M loses, then I'll be back, because that's kind of the expected outcome. If they win, then that's the peak. There's nothing left. So,
my honest prediction: Alabama 42, Texas A&M 28. Alabama's dominant running game, but it's just going to be too much for A&M to handle. But it's going to be another shootout. I think there's going to be a lot of offense generated in this game. But just give me the Crimson Tide. They go into the bye week undefeated, and they stay at number 1. So the other game of interest this week, Arkansas at Auburn. I had a decision to make between Ole Miss versus LSU or Arkansas at Auburn. This game is a pretty big deal. Ole Miss coming off a loss. They're sitting, I think, 3-3 now. So Arkansas at Auburn, 6 p.m. ESPN. After last week's major victory against Ole Miss, Austin Allen and a determined Razorback squad look to continue to roll into Jordan-Hare Stadium to face a hungry Auburn team looking to stay alive in the SEC West race. Just give me your prediction on this one.
Well, you have November going for Arkansas, and Gus Malzahn, he's saving his job. Auburn's probably playing some of the best football in the SEC right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so, to what you were alluding to earlier, this is a huge game especially for Auburn, for third place, possible second place in the SEC West. So, it's a lot more important than it was if you would have talked about it 3 or 4 weeks ago. But I'll take Arkansas 35-24.
Pretty good prediction. I've got Arkansas 31-27. I think, especially after last week's major victory that Arkansas had, I think they just continue to roll. They have at times where they could seem like one of the best in the SEC, and then they just have times where they absolutely blow games that they need to win. But this week, I see the Razorbacks going into Jordan-Hare and picking up another victory. They get themselves back into contention for the SEC West. But it's going to be a fun game. A lot of good games going on this weekend for sure. So we move on to the final part of our show, the prediction part number 4. So, are you ready?
I'm ready.
I said, are you ready?
I'm ready.
We move on here to the final part, prediction, South Carolina versus UMass. This is a tough game to predict because UMass, they've actually been contenders.
They haven't been bad.
They've played, 3 SEC teams?
Yeah.
They beat one, they lost one. Who you got?
If UMass wins this game, are they going to be accepted into the SEC?
I think we should give them a formal invitation.
I think so, too. Give me UMass 31-20.
31-20. I got South Carolina 28-20. I just don't know that UMass can get 2 victories against SEC teams, but they are a good football team. I'll give them that. Missouri versus Middle Tennessee State.
God, what a bad game. Give me go Murfreesboro. It's a crap city near Nashville, so this is about all they have going for them. So you know what? Let's give them a bone. Let's let them win this one.
You know what? I'm going to say the Blue Raiders 38-31 in overtime. This just seems like one of those games where Middle Tennessee State is going to come out, they're going to play well, and they're going to pull off a major upset. So give me the Blue Raiders in overtime. Mississippi State versus Kentucky.
Golly. Give me Kentucky 21-10.
I got Mississippi State 17-14. Vanderbilt versus Tennessee State.
Vanderbilt's never going to lose another game this year. Vanderbilt 35-7.
I got Vanderbilt 44-10, and last but not least, Ole Miss versus LSU.
Oh man, I guess Ole Miss. I don't trust either of these two.
I really don't either.
Teams, yeah. So I guess Ole Miss. You know what? Let's make it fun. Say 42-41.
42-41. I got Ole Miss at 28-21 over LSU. So that does it for Views of the SEC. Thank you for tuning in. For Adam Benefiel, I'm Trey Adams signing off. Goodbye, everybody.
This program is a presentation of the Communications Department of Northeast State Community College and is produced as part of the Student Learning Experience. The content of this program is produced through student participation and does not necessarily reflect the opinions and views held by the school.
The music today was provided by Jason Shaw at audioaudix.com.